I'd love to, we kind of see where you're at today. I'd love to rewind a little bit and maybe talk about some of this experience that you're referring to, that you have, 20 or more years, and then your two partners. Walk us through a little bit about kind of how that came to be and then how you use that today.
Yeah, so I grew up in the business, so I'm second generation. So my dad started managing an arcade in the 80s. And then as that company grew, he grew with the company. So as I was growing up, he was becoming a store manager, a regional manager, district manager, all the way up till ultimately being CEO. And that company went from having a handful of arcades to over 100.
Oh, wow.
and started building indoor, large, 100,000 plus square foot family entertainment centers. So I grew up around that. And then when I was in high school was when we started Pinnacle. So that company that my dad had grown up with was sold to Namco. And then we started Pinnacle. So he started consulting and we started putting out our own machines, primarily in Walmarts and locations like that. We got a test with Walmart and that grew. And ultimately we had about 500 claw machines and another couple hundred other games throughout, mostly in the Midwest in the U.S. and then also in Puerto Rico, which also included a family entertainment center that we were partners in.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so then you take that and you grow it. Like you guys are operating it to some degree, right? With these claw machines. Does the consulting spin out of that or in concurrently with that, or where does that?
Concurrently, it was parallel. Okay. So I was mostly on the route side then. My dad was consulting. So we started with the very first consulting client was a huge one, which was Disney. So we were working on downtown Disney in Orlando, which had a good run of over 20 years, just closed a couple of years ago. And then ESPN Zone. So developing those concepts with Disney. And along the way started working with more mom and pops. And then the company, so eventually we sold the operations and folded into a merchandise company called Redemption Plus, which is still around. The idea being if we could help their clients learn the business better, they'd be more successful, they would buy more product and be more loyal. So did that for years. And then as part of Redemption Plus, started working more and more with smaller companies, smaller chains. And bowling has been, came in during that time period. So about maybe 13 years ago, we started doing like around 2010. I think Andy B's was the first project we worked on in the bowling world.
Okay. Yeah, I was just there.
As a consultant. And became part of the Brunswick Alliance. So as we were working with Andy B's and others, we gained a lot of trust with Brunswick.
Yeah.
So they started to recommend us for a lot of their projects. We also work with Cubica, but we've done most of our work with Brunswick due to that alliance. So we work really closely with them. And it's always been something where we just have to take care of their clients and they keep referring us. So it's a good relationship. And that's we've probably done about 200 bowling centers, whether that's some of them are ground up, some of that is modernizations and everything in between.
Hey, did you like this video? Great. We make 10 of them a week. Subscribe to learn more and keep learning about what's working in the industry. Talk to you then.